Good morning, everybody. It's about like 4 a.m. right now. So yesterday I made a prediction that Sea Games for Thailand was going to be another disaster, and I did that in the morning. I put that out in the morning, and I'm just making a prediction based on like the circumstances that are going on right now, because they have so many different issues that they're having to deal with, right? And I said that this is going to be a disaster because there's so many different things that are hitting them at the same time, right? Before they even started, they were complaining about the funding. They said that they were coming up short for the funding, right? And then they were hit. First of all, the border clash with us, right? And they kept doing things to like try to distract the population, spending all the resources on just idiotic things, trying to steer their population's attention off of their shortfalls, right? So they're trying to do all the landmine things, and then after that they had the flood that hit Hat Yai. The Hat Yai floods has affected the Sea Games, because Sea Games at first it was supposed to be hosted there in Hat Yai, but now the stadiums are all flooded. There are some event organizers who were planning for like 6 or 7 months. The person who was in charge got fired just recently. And it's like, man, you guys have only a few days left to start before you guys have to host it, And usually, before a big event happens or whatever, there's a lot of like promotional videos that comes up, like, okay, we're going to have this star or that star, or we're going to have these things, like just things to like get people's attention and get people to join, But since it's coming up, this event is coming closer and closer, there hasn't been any promotional videos coming out saying that we're going to have, different singers or whatever. There's nothing, The only thing that they've been focusing on is trying to, start more shit with Cambodia. And now they have problems with Burma. So like I said, the other day I was talking about them trying to start some stuff with Burma, right? And Burma, over there, the military government, they don't care. If they want, if Thailand wants to go to war, they don't care, because war and fighting and conflict is normal to them. Like I said, the civil war in Burma is the longest civil war in history. It's been going on for 80 years now. So there's the KNU that are along the border that are fighting with the government right now. And I guess the government side, the military, fired a few explosives into the Thai territory. And then once that happened, the Thai side was like, they, instead of, doing what they do to Cambodia and, saying that they're going to go to war and take, do this and that, they didn't do anything. They just postured and said, we're going to send our military to go and protect our sovereignty. And then they moved a whole bunch of civilians out of their homes, and that's it. So starting all this stuff with Cambodia, and just what they're doing is they're deflecting so that their population doesn't focus on their shortfalls, right? So even with the flood, it's like you have how many dead bodies? You're saying only a couple hundred, or not even a couple hundred, not even up to 200, they're saying. But there's reports coming about, people that are on the ground saying there's more bodies than that, and we were ordered not to report. And this is coming from foreigners that are helping out, with the cleanup process, with the aid and all that. And they're saying, like, man, we're told not to report the other deaths, like they're along the alleys and stuff. Once the waters recede, there's more bodies than they're reporting. So yeah. Okay, so let's get into Sea Games, right? So for Sea Games right now, it's supposed to happen on the 9th, right? So today is the 5th now, but before the games begin, there's they do like pre-games and stuff, right? So for pre-games, they'll have okay, in outside of America, so in America we call it soccer, right? But then outside of America, everywhere else they call it football, okay? So football for America is different, but football outside of America, everybody is soccer. So only in America do we call it soccer, but outside of America, we call it football. Everybody else calls it football, okay? So football match is going to be happening, or it did happen the other day between some different countries, right? It's for the pre-games, okay? So some of the issues that came up, so Vietnam and Laos, they were supposed to have a match, right? These are their stadium lights right here in Thailand, okay? So the stadium lights, you know, they keep bragging about how rich they are and how much money they have, you know, and they keep looking down on Cambodia and saying that we're poor, we don't have anything, you know. And like I said yesterday, that stadium, Techo Mordok Stadium, was built specifically for the SEA Games, okay? And we prepared that for 10 years, we built that, okay? And for them, you can see they've been doing this for a while now, okay? They have all kinds of stuff. They're rich, you know, according to them, they're rich, they're more advanced and everything. But for some reason, they can't even get this right. So stadium lights were, you know, there were a few lights that were missing, you know, light bulbs, and there was no way to replace them because for some reason, like that brand of bulb, I don't know, they're like no more, they aren't being manufactured anymore or whatever, but that's not even an excuse for them, okay? It should not be an excuse, okay? So right before the match, the Vietnamese team were late. They were late to the stadium, okay? So because it's in Bangkok, right? There's a lot of traffic there. So the Thai side, like, look, you guys know that you're hosting the game and you are supposed to bring them, you know, to the game on time, right? So when like I told you guys for SEA Games in Cambodia, when the matches were going on, right? They shut down roads, right? From the hotel all the way to where the Techo Mordok Stadium is. And it was broadcasted and it was told like all on different news outlets, right? Like avoid these roads because these roads are shut down for SEA Games. So those roads were just shut down and it was just meant for the athletes to travel back and forth between their hotel room to the stadium. And yeah, that's what we did because, you know, it's very important that people do things and get things on to their places on time. So yeah, at the time I remember I had to go to the airport, and I was like, man, why are you guys shutting down roads just for this, you know? And I was like, why don't you guys give us like alternative routes or anything so that we know which way to go? That way it'll be easier for everybody, you know? And when I went to the airport, I remember they had police escorts and everything for the athletes, you know? And that's how organized we were when it came to the SEA Games, okay? So Vietnamese team showed up to their match late, right? And then before the match started, you know how they sing their national anthem and stuff, right? So the Vietnamese team were up there supposed to sing their national anthem. And while they were up there trying to sing their national anthem, the sound system cut off. So the sound system cut off and it was on live broadcasts, you know, for, you know, everybody to see. So different countries like Vietnam and Laos, you know, they were watching and the sound system cut off and they weren't able to hear anything. It was just, you know, everybody was singing the national anthem and it was just like, you know, you know how when a sound system cuts off and people on stage are just singing and you just hear their voices and there's no background music or anything. And it was just an awkward moment, you know, like what the hell happened? You know? And they kept on singing. So yeah. Okay, so for Thailand, this is their 7th time hosting, all right? This is not their first time, this is their 7th time hosting SEA Games. So they have no excuse for what happened, no excuse at all. Another thing that they did was for the matches, right? When you compete and stuff, you know how they put like up the match, like who's competing with who, right? And what they did was they put up an Excel sheet. There was an Excel sheet on the official SEA Games website showing like who is competing with what, you know? And it's just ridiculous. It's just different things going up, you know, like you should be more advanced than that, but you're not. And all the, everything that you're doing is just ridiculous. There's no excuse to that. No excuse at all. Okay? So for another thing that I need to point out is this. So if you see here, when Indonesia and Thailand were competing, right? Well, the match, right? For the match, right? They're saying Thailand is going to compete with Indonesia. And for Thailand, they had the Vietnamese flag up there for Thailand. Then for Indonesia, they had the Laos flag, okay? So there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. And then they came out saying that they were using AI, right? So AI was the one that generated this image, and they apologized for it. And it's like, come on, man. You're Thailand. You're supposed to be more advanced and rich, and you should be on top of that. There's no reason why you should have done this, okay? This is no excuse, right? All right. The Vietnam side, when they saw that, they were saying it's disrespectful for you to make a mistake like that. To have our flag representing your country is very disrespectful, because you should not have made a mistake like that. All right. Let's see. So the Thai citizens are criticizing their government about what's going on, right? So if you just look at the Khao English, and you'll see, right, like there's a whole bunch of things that's going on. There's a lot of criticism coming by, you know. Thailand's preparations for the third Southeast Asian Games have been marred by organizational failures and raising questions about the country's readiness to host the regional competition. All right, so let's see. Page administrator, heavily sarcastic jab at SEA Games. Okay. This right here, the page administrator for FC Augsburg, a Bundesliga club in Germany, launched a heavily sarcastic jab at the SEA Games by adapting a promotion poster for a virtual running challenge originally shared by the SEA Games Thailand. So they're using this as a jab at Thailand. Everybody is making fun of Thailand right now. All right. Okay. Chunbri SEA Games LED contractor cancels job after organizers failed to pay deposit. All right. So the organizers did not pay the LED contractor on time, and so they pulled out. Official SEA Games 2025 page apologizes after major error sparks online backlash. So this is what's going on. After the official page for the 33rd SEA Games faced heavy criticism online, ranging from incorrect national flags, hard to read schedules, to promotional posters for the virtual run created using AI, the SEA Games Thailand 2025 page posted a statement addressing the issues. Oh man, it is non-stop with these guys. Oh yeah, also Anatin is getting some criticism about his connection to this guy named Ben Sam, I think, some kind of scam figure that's being sanctioned right now. And Anatin was seen, has a picture with this guy. And Anatin is denying, saying that he has anything to do with the guy now. So yeah, Anatin, no breaks for him, no breaks for him. So, okay, their bathrooms, dirty, right? This is the stadium. No toilet paper, all right? This is the hand washing station, dirty. Even the toilets are dirty, right? And they are talking about us, how we are less advanced and poor, right? So PM orders Tamanat to urgently solve SEA Games problems after criticism of worse organization than Cambodia. Worse than Cambodia. My goodness. Can you see that? Can you imagine that? You know, Thailand is doing something worse than Cambodia. Cannot believe that. So the Thai side, they tried to do everything on a budget, right? So what they wanted to do was they only wanted to spend 60 to 70 million dollars, right, on this event. Versus Cambodia, when we hosted this Sea Games, we spent 130 million dollars to host it. Okay, so there was the Sea Games, 30-second Sea Games, and then there was also the Para Sea Games, and we hosted both of them, and it was a success, and everybody was so proud. All the Cambodians were so proud. There were a lot of them. I remember a lot of them, Cambodians from abroad, who came and joined because they wanted to witness, you know, the change that Cambodia has gone through. And there's a lot of people giving interviews and saying, man, the roads in Cambodia are so beautiful now, you know. So yeah, a lot of different failures. Okay, there's some other narratives that's been falling apart for Thailand, right? So during the 5-day war, they were making a lot of claims and putting out a lot of fake news, right? So now a lot of the news that they were claiming is starting to come out. And so this guy right here, his name is Lieutenant Sray Duck, okay? Lieutenant Sray Duck is a general, and he's stationed along the front line. And during the 5-day war with Thailand, the Thai side claimed on The Nation, it's a really big news outlet for Thailand, they claimed that he got killed by an F-16. So that guy, Bun Sin Pat Klang, he was claiming, you know, like, okay, not him, but The Nation was saying that under his orders, the F-16s dropped bombs on Cambodia, and it hit him and he died. And everybody was so happy, and they were so excited, you know. But the thing is, they fear him, all right? The Thai side, they fear this guy because he has a lot of experience in fighting, and he's very lethal. I can say he's lethal. This guy's lethal. He knows what he's doing, all right? He's stationed along the front line, and he's a general. So the Thai side, when they start fighting, they put out a lot of, you know, disinformation to make it, you know, seem like they were doing something and they were getting stuff done. They said that he got hit by one of the F-16 bombs. But the other day, here's him coming out and receiving a donation for the frontline soldiers. So they're all like, what the hell, what happened? I thought you guys told us that this guy died, you know? So it's, they're trying to keep it hush-hush, but there's, you know, like a little bit of rumors that are seeping into the Thai military, not military, but media. And they're all wondering, like, what happened? Why did our military lie to again? Okay? So this guy right here, remember this face, Sray Duk, Lieutenant General Sray Duk, and he is very lethal when it comes to fighting. Very lethal. Okay? During the 5-day clash, there's a guy named Andrew Marshall, and he reports on like the internal, you know, like secrets that are coming out from the royal family. So the Thai royal family, right? So for the Thai royal family, you know, there was news just recently about the Queen Mother passing away, right? But from this guy, Andrew Marshall, he said that she's been dead. She's been dead ever since the 5-day clash, but they haven't announced it. They didn't announce it until when they were supposed to sign the peace agreement with Cambodia, right? So they kept it quiet and they kept it hidden. They didn't want people to know. So now there's another rumor that the princess, so the current king's daughter, is dead. So I think during COVID, she received the jab, right? She received the jab, and there was something that happened to her. And they've been real quiet about it. You know, there's been, you know, saying there's rumors that said she was sick and she was undergoing a lot of different treatments and stuff. So the other day, that guy Andrew Marshall has said out loud that she's dead, okay? But they haven't released this information yet. They're waiting, okay? So even with the Queen Mother, she's been dead for a few months, and they waited until a certain time to give that and make that statement public, all right? So I'm pretty sure, you know, with the royal family, there's a lot of things that they keep secret and they don't want people to know because it's going to be too much of a shock for everybody, all right? So keep this in mind. This was reported by independent journalist Andrew Marshall, and let's see when they do make it public, all right? Okay. So what I want to say is this, right? So all the things that they keep doing to Cambodia, to Burma, you know, they keep spending so much resources trying to scare people and do things and start shit, you know. They're doing a lot of stuff to like poison the minds of the population. They're doing stuff to keep, you know, deflecting from their own mistakes and their own problems, right? And with Prey-Chan, the Prey-Chan area, I remember they were playing like ghost sounds and stuff to disturb the Cambodians at night, you know, in the middle of the night, like 2 or 3 a.m. They start playing like ghost sounds, you know, howling sounds, and, you know, all kinds of different things just to disturb their sleep. And, you know, like most of the older Cambodians and the younger kids, they're afraid of ghosts, right? So when they do that, they're like terrorizing the locals, the kids, you know, because they believe in ghosts. So when they do that, they can't sleep at night. Then in the daytime, they can't, you know, carry on with their daily activities. So they're playing around with ghost sounds and, you know, trying to scare people. And then the flood happens in Hat Yai, you know. So those same ghost sounds that they were playing to scare the Cambodian population along Prey-Chan are the same screams and sounds that were echoing around Hat Yai when the floods came in, because nobody was there to help them, and they were all starving. They were standing on rooftops. People were dying, you know. The same screams that they played over the loudspeaker to scare Cambodians are the same screams that happened to Hat Yai residents, all right? So what I want to say is this. With all the mishaps that are going on right now, with all the difficulties that they're facing, you know, they need to just focus on their country and how to rebuild and how to bring everything together, you know, and stop, you know, showing off and telling people how great and good they are, because it's showing right now that you are not great, you are not good, and you are disorganized. So keep this in mind right here, okay? This is this is being hidden right now. It hasn't been made public, but pretty soon it will be. They're just waiting for the right time, all right? So I'm just answering this question to clarify from one of the subscribers, because he was saying that he wasn't clear on what was going on. So this is for you, VT, okay. VT20247. I can read every word of the content, but I have no clue what this was about. I get their F up, but I'm really not understanding what the issue is. But maybe I am too tuned out to the Siam narrative. I am going to need further detailed breakdown of what this means. Yes, they lied and spread around information, but isn't that what they do? Please help. Okay, so this is for you to answer your question about my video yesterday. I put out the video saying that SEA Games was going to be a disaster, right? And then now there's news coming out that, so I said yesterday, SEA Games in Thailand will be another disaster, right? And then there was a post that came out from Household English that they apologize for major errors. And so not even a day after I put out that video, the cracks are starting to show. All right, so thanks everybody for the questions, thanks for the comments, thanks for watching, and I'll keep you guys updated as more information comes in. See you later.